Hello, my name is Eduardo and I am here with a new tutorial for Thunkable or App Inventor or appybuilder. And well, this tutorial, I guess it is not very difficult and it can be used for many things, okay? But let me show you the final result. So you have here your app. Okay, so you can add here more things. Okay, you can add like a button or something to start everything. Well, the idea is to start with this. Welcome to Thunkable App Inventor or appybuilder tutorial. So please don't stress, relax for a second and enjoy this tutorial. So that is the idea. Okay, so we're going to create this thing, okay, that it can be used for an intro or for instructions or for maybe a mini tutorial about how to use your app using just images and canvas. And if you check, we just need an horizontal arrangement, a canvas, an image sprite, and a clock. That's all the things you need for this tutorial. Okay, so let's start. And if you just reduce the interval to, you can make it a little bit smoother and faster, I guess. Okay, and also you can personalize this kind of movement here in the blocks. Let me show you. You have some variables. Okay, so I have also a tutorial, remember, about rebound thing, and it's pretty similar to this. Okay, so if we move the friction probably to 0.6, check this shaky thing, and probably here the rebound to 0.8, you have a different result and it looks pretty cool. Okay, so I guess it is something really cool, so you can just make it less dramatic, for example, so 0.2 for the rebound, and probably for the, if we reduce the friction, 0.2, that's it. Pretty boring. Okay, so well, the idea is, the idea is just to have this thing working, and I will show you how to do it. Okay, so don't move sometimes things, because if not you're gonna mess. Okay. And that's it. So we have 0.5, and that's it. If you modify these values, you can personalize this thing. Okay, just the friction and the rebound values. 0.2, what happened right there? Well, so don't reduce it to 0.2, because if not you are going to lose your file here. 0.6. Okay, well, the idea is just to test. Let's make it more dramatic. And what about 0.9? So just don't overpass 1. Okay, very shaky. Okay, so let's say that 0.7 it's okay, and this is 0.6, 0.2, 0.5. Anyway, so let's start with the tutorial. Let's create for this a new screen. Let's add a new screen and let's start working with this. And well, if you remember, I told you that we are going to have just very simple elements. This can be used in your initial screen, okay? And after you finish the the presentation, you can like add something to load the new screen or remove this layout and start with your normal app. Anyway, so let's start. So here the first thing that we need, it is a layout, an horizontal layout, or horizontal arrangement. We're going to set it to center, center, and then we're going to set the values for this for the height. What about if we set it to 80% of the screen? And for the width, we're going to set it to fill parent to use all the screen. That's it. And remember, center, center. And also for the horizontal arrangement, it is very important to set it to center. Also, if this is your screen number 1, because this is not mine, remember to set it to responsive, because we're going to use percentages. Okay, so well, let's go to the screen number 2, sorry. So, and then we are going to set it here to portrait mode. You can use it in landscape mode if you want, but let's use portrait. Then we are going to change the color. Let's change it now to something green right now, just to change things. Then in the horizontal arrangement, we are going to drag here on the left side from the palette. We're going to drag a canvas. Okay, then we're going to set the canvas, the width of the canvas. We're going to change it right now in the blocks, not right here, but the height, just to use fill parent. That means that it will be like using the size of the horizontal arrangement, that is the 80%. That's it. For the width, we're going to do something different. Well, anyway, so now we drag this. You can set it right now, just for this example. It is not important because we're going to change it, but let's set it to 70% for fill parent. Then we're going to drag the image sprite. You can rename it, and you just can call it slide sprite. So this is the sprite that it's going to help us show the slides like a presentation or something. Okay, now we are going to remove the color from the background, from the canvas. We're going to say to none. So, and then we have the color of the screen. That's it. Now here we can set the image to the default. Okay, so you have to create some images. I created my images in Inkscape. You can use whatever you want. Okay, so I just set it to 256 times 256, like a square. Okay, so it is a square that I am exporting. So basically that is the idea with these images. Okay, so it is very important to remember the same size for width and height. Well, in my case, you can change, but that makes things easier. Now, the next thing, it is to import your images. I already import my images. Just use this, okay, and then you go to select one by one of your images that you need for this tutorial. Okay, so, and that's it. So you have the images, you have the layout, the basic layout, that is the horizontal arrangement, your canvas, your sprite. You set it to responsive, it is in portrait. So we are ready to go to the blocks. So now, before going to the blocks in this part, I need to explain you again something. You can check my other tutorials about, I made one, okay, that it's pretty similar to this, but I guess I am using different images instead of a big image. What? The idea is that we are going to imagine that this gray square, okay, or white square, or whatever square, okay, the rectangle, it is like the screen of the device, the area that it is like visible. So this is the visible screen, okay. Now inside this visible screen we have the canvas, and we have the horizontal layout. The horizontal layout, it is a container. It has this layout, it has the canvas inside. Oh, sorry. Let's change the color. So that is the idea, okay? So imagine that this thing that it's here, let's use another color, is the horizontal arrangement, and inside the horizontal arrangement we have a canvas. we are going to change the color to yellow. So imagine that this is my canvas inside my horizontal arrangement. Right now we set it to use as much space as possible from the horizontal arrangement, talking about the height. But for the width, we are going to do something different. We are going to make it bigger than the real size of the screen. Okay, so we are going to make it 3 times the size of the screen. Obviously, it won't be visible all of this thing. The only thing that we will be able to see, it will be just the part that the horizontal arrangement is displaying in the visible screen. Okay, so but the canvas, it won't be like this size. It will be like 3 screens. So this is important because we are going to place our images in here and we're going to move them to here or from the invisible area to here. Okay, so just to give an illusion. So that is the idea. We're going to have the canvas first to set it 3 times the size of the screen, of this screen. So it's like having 3 screens. And that's why we set it to center the screen, okay? Now, to do that, we're going to go to here and we're going to say initialize, and then we're going to set the canvas width. Canvas width. It will be 3 times the size of the screen, okay? The screen's width. So we're going to change here times 3 times. Okay, so now it will be, if you check the width of the screen, it is like 600 with my device. Okay, that is my tablet. But if we do it with this, 3 times this equals to 1800. So we have now a big canvas. Okay, well, the first thing is the width. The height, it is not important because we set it to fill parent. Okay, it is using as much space from the horizontal arrangement. Now, the next thing, it is to resize our image sprite. So we're going to resize the image sprite or the slide sprite. First, the width. Remember that it's a square, so it has the same size from the width and the height. So we are going to calculate just the width and then just copy the width value in the height to have a perfect square. Now the slide sprite, okay, width, it will be based on the percentage of the normal screen, the visible area. So from the width, we're going to multiply, okay, so it based on the percentage. So we're going to set it to, if we set it to 0.5, it is equals to 50%. Okay, so don't forget that we have to use the point. In this case, I want my picture to use 0.85 big image from the width. Okay, so it is using almost this area from the screen. Okay, from the screen, not the canvas, from the screen, from the visible area, it is using like the 85%. So it's a big from the width. And for the height, as I told you, it is the same size as the width that we just calculated. So we just need to go to the sprite, slide sprite, width, and we're going to drag this value that we just calculated right now. And with that, we're going to have a perfect square. Okay, so now we have this. Now the next thing, it is to place the slide sprite in the y-axis. Okay, so in the y-axis, we want to center this. To do that, we're going to go to math and we're going to drag here. First, we're going to multiply because it is based on the percentage. Also, we are going to drag from slide sprite. We're going to change the y position, remember, and we're going to set it here. The first thing is just to check based on the percentage from the canvas. Right now, we can use the canvas. Okay, the canvas height. So we go to canvas height, the area that we have, okay, times, it's the same as in the screen. To check the percentage, we want to place it half the size of the canvas. But because App Inventor or Thunkable, okay, they place things based the origin of the things, it is not in the center. The origin of the things, it's here. So we need to move things, okay? For example, if I center something in the middle of the screen, it will be like this. It will be like not perfect center. So we need to move this thing to the left, okay, and to place it right in the center. We are going to do this. We are going to subtract and then divide. Okay, so we are going to subtract the image height. Okay, we go for the image height minus, divided by 2. So the half of the sprite, the slide sprite. Okay, so we are going to subtract this thing. Okay, we are going to subtract from this value that we just calculated. So, and with that, we are going to have it perfectly centered in the middle on the y-axis. For the x-axis, it is quite different. So where do we want this sprite to be at the beginning? At the beginning, I don't want to have my sprite in the center. I just want to have the clean space, probably for a button to say start or press or something. Okay, so to do that, we're going to check 0% from the screen. It is in here in this point. The 33%, it is in here, 66 and 100%. So I want to send my image to this part, to the right. Okay, so I want to set it to the 100%, or as far as is it possible from the to the right side. Okay, so now we are going to do it. We are going to duplicate this and change to X, and then we are going to use, I want you to go to the canvas. It can be the canvas, or we can use also this one, the width of the screen, so to 180 in this case, so to the right. Basically that is the idea. So this is just the initial position, remember. Now the next thing, it is to everything that is in here, it can be added to a procedure. For example, initialize procedure, and we can drag all of these guys in here just to have more organized our blocks. Okay, so we have initialize. When we initialize the screen, we're going to run this beautiful procedure. Okay, now the next thing. Now I forgot, I guess, to add a clock, right? Yes, we need a clock to move things. We need these kind of things. We go to sensors on the left side, sensors, and then we go look for the clock. We drag it, and then we have the clock. We disable the clock, and then we're going to set the clock to something to 10. It can be 10 or 48. I sometimes use 48. Okay, it's like 24 frames per second or something, but you can use 10. Now, to have a more dramatic effect, what is the next part? The next part, I guess, we're going to create some variables. Okay, so the first variable that we're going to create, let's work with the images first. Let's create here a list that it's called list images. Oh, sorry, list images, and then we're going to add all the elements for this for images. So we go here, here, and then we start like adding everything. Okay, so you go and you check the names of your files, and you start like in order. So you have them in order, please do it in order. Okay, so my first image is 01.png, etc., etc. So just to save some time, I'm going to copy this block from here. Yes, I'm cheating, guys. I'm cheating. Just to save some time, but if I cannot find them, I guess it was not very useful tip. Where is my list? Where is my list? Where is my list? Oh, it's here. So we can insert it there. Then we go to screen 2. Then we just look in the backpack. And then we have it in here. List images or images list. So we are going to drag this. We are going to remove this. We are going to remove a image list. That's it. So now we have just the images in a list. Okay, we're going to use this. Then we're going to create I don't know if I forgot to add the, oh yes, we need to create the, well, this is the variable list images. Then we're going to drag another, we're going to create another one that it will be like the current image, current index image. So let's, to make it very clear, let's set it to 1 because it's the default image, and that's it. Now I guess with that part we are just like fine. Now there is another thing that we need to check. We need to have something, we need to calculate the position based on the screen that we are, in the current screen that we are, the final position, because we're going to use here like a formula, okay, to have this kind of rebound movement. Okay, so the first thing is we are going to add the variables for this movement, and this, the first is f, like friction or something, 0.3. Let's set it to 0.3. Then we're going to duplicate this one, and then we're going to call it to r, that is the factor of rebound. So let's set it to 0.4. Oh, sorry, 0.4. Then we're going to create one variable for, in this case we're going to move just the image in the x-axis, so we don't need to create the, just this for the x. So it is x vel, the velocity of the x, and we're going to set it to 0, okay, because it will start from 0. Now which one is more necessary? Yes, as I told you, we need the final position. Okay, so to create the final position, we're going to drag another, we're going to duplicate, and we're going to call it pos final, the final position in x, and we're going to set it to 0 at the beginning, no problem. And I guess that's okay. Now we're going to go to the procedure about moving things, but first let's create a simple procedure to calculate about the screens or the final position, so where you go. Okay, so to do that, we're going to call it here, and we're going to call it x final. Okay, so this is like the destination, x final destination. Okay, so where do we want to send this guy? So, and to calculate this, we're going to make it like this. Check, we're going to add a variable, we're going to call it screen. Remember that it's like if we have 3 screens, okay, so because we have 3 times the screen of the canvas, it is 3 times the screen, so we're going to call it screen. Okay, and then we are going to start like adding this procedure with math. Okay, so we are going to go here, and we're going to say minus. So, and then we're going to check the screens, the screen, not the canvas, the screen width. Okay, and we're going to add another one that is here to multiply, and we're going to insert it here. We're going to check the percentage, okay, based on the screen that we currently are. So if we are in the screen 1, well, it is times 1. If we are in screen 2, it is 2 screens or 3. But we're going to modify this value according where we are. Now, next thing, it is to check the half of the size of the canvas to center. Now we want to center the sprite. Okay, so to center the sprite, we are going to use this procedure, please. I'm not going to explain a lot about this thing. I guess you need to check it, experiment with these blocks, okay, but it's based on the percentage. Okay, so I'm going to use again the screen's width times 0.5, that is the 50% of the screen, 0.5, that is 50% of the screen, plus the image sprite, okay, the slide sprite width divided by 2. And with that thing, we are going to center in the current position. Okay, so this is divided by 2 just to center everything. So we're going to use this procedure, this X final, in where we move, okay, and to detect where is the sprite. Now we're going to activate this when we touch the screen. Okay, so I mean the canvas. So we go to touch. We can use touch or touch down, but in this case we're going to use touch. When we touch this, we're going to start like enabling the clock. Okay, so we're going to start like running the clock. We just go here, we go for set timer enable to true. We're going to enable the clock and we're going to add a condition. The condition is this one. First, we're going to check in which current screen we are. Okay, so we need to check this current screen. To do that, we're going to go here and we're going to create a variable called current screen. Remember that I told you that it's like having 3 images. So, and we're going to set this to 3 because at the beginning it will be in the third screen that is on the right. Okay, and then the current screen, we're going to check if the current screen it is equals to 3, so that means that is in the original position. The current screen, it is in the original position. Okay, so remember this is the screen 3, well that is in this side. So what happens if it's over there? Well, just to make sure, okay, we don't have any problems, we're going to change the size of the sprite, slide sprite, and we're going to make sure that it's the position of the sprite, I mean, it is on the right, okay, when we start this, because we did it in the initial procedure, but just to make sure, because sometimes it is not like doing that. So to avoid that mistake, we are going to set it to 3 times the same value that we have here. We are going to do it over there. So that is the idea, just to make sure that everything is placed on the right side. Now the next thing, it is we are going to check here variables, and we're going to check the position final. Okay, the global position final, we're going to calculate it with this final destination. Now if we are in 3, the destination is the middle. The middle, it is the screen number 2. This is the destination, and we're going to center, because we use in this procedure it is setting in which screen and then it is center the image. So the destination is screen number 2. Then you are going to make the image visible, because here I forgot, we're going to make it invisible just to start. Then we go to the blocks. So it is now, we're going to make it visible because it was invisible at the end. So we're going to set it here, visible to true. Then, very important, we are going to, if we change from 3 to 2, now we're going to update the current screen. We are going to update the current screen to 2. Okay? Else if condition, if this is not like that, we have a different condition. What happens if we're going to create this loop or illusion. What happens if we are now in screen number 2? If the sprite is in, well, it will go to screen number 1. Okay, so now we're going to duplicate this value. We're going to go to from 2 to 1. Okay, basically that is the idea. We're going to go to 1, and now it's time to go to the clock. This is the interesting part. Okay, so to go here, we're going to first check where we are. Okay, so we're going to drag here a clock timer. Okay, then we are going to add a condition if, okay, we're going to check if the position, okay, of the slide sprite in X, if the position it is less or equals than this, the destination one. If it's in position 1, we want to what? We're going to create this loop. Okay, so well, that is to create the loop. To create the loop, we're going to change, if we are in this, in screen number 1 here, in this value, we're going to change, send to this, and then start it again in 2. So it is like creating a loop. So now we're going to make sure the sprite, it is visible. Then we're going to change the global current screen. Set global current screen. We're going to change it to 2 because we want to modify this value automatically with the clock. And then we're going to change the, duplicate this, and we change to pause final, the position. The final position, it will be right now. We duplicate this one to number 2 as well. Then we're going to change the images. Okay, when we move, disappear, change the image, appear now in position 2, and then that's the idea with this. Okay, so we're going to add a condition for the images. So this is just in case that we are moving to the left, okay, for the first time. So now we are going to add a math here. We're going to compare values, and then we're going to go here. If the current image, okay, we are going to have something to indicate the current image. Remember, if the current index image, it is less than the length of the list. Which list? Well, the list with images. We duplicate this one and we change to list of images. So if this value is less, okay, so we have elements now. Well, we are going to increase this value. We are going to increase the current index image plus 1. So we're going to change the image by 1 by 1. So let me duplicate this, and that's it. Now we're going to set the image sprite from the slide. Set image picture, sorry, to select list item. Here in list, you go to select list item. From the list of images, I want you to select the one that has the current index. Okay? Else, that means that if this value it is bigger than the length of the list, we are going to reset the list. Else, we are going to set the current image to 1, current index image to 1, and we're going to duplicate this one from here. We're going to set the image again to the image with the index. That's it. Well, if we do this thing right now, we don't have anything because the clock, it is not moving anything. So now we're going to create this interesting part. To do that, we're going to go to the bottom and we're going to start modifying the velocity in x, the x bell that we created. This value, it will be like modify. Okay, so first we're going to drag here and we're going to multiply the velocity, the x velocity, times the friction. And then this value, we are going to add it to this value. So check, we have it over there. And to this value, we are going to add. So we're going to subtract. First, we're going to subtract the global position or the final position here minus the image or the slide sprite x here, and we are going to subtract it in here. Okay, so we plus this value. Then we are going to multiply all of these things all of this result times the rebound factor. We go for R, and that's it. Then we are going to update the position of the sprite based on this velocity. To do that, we are going to set X plus, so we are going to update this. So the X, it will be increased plus its original position plus the X velocity. We duplicate it from here, and that's it. Well, we have one over there, and I guess if we press or click in here, we have this, and we just finish this thing. Just let's go here to designer and refresh everything. We go here, write something to refresh the screen, and we check. The initial thing, it is nothing. You can add here like a sprite or something like a button to say start, okay, anything, or you can set it at the beginning to this original position as I show you. Then you start when you click. When people click, they will start like making this thing, okay? Oh, sorry, I clicked so fast. You go to the blocks, then if we click here, we enable, let's go here to the blocks, that's it. Okay, so we are the current screen, everything is in 3. And we start little by little moving things. And it looks pretty cool, I guess. Welcome. Thunkable. And that's it. Okay, so, well, I guess basically that is the thing. There is something that is not working properly, I guess. It is the first image. Because the first image, it is in here. We are going to move it over there. Set global image. I guess we are almost there. Okay, so let me check what thing we are missing. Something probably here. We set the sprite to true if destination the global velocity tutorial slide sprite. So let's refresh the screen again. Now if we go here to the blocks, what is happening right now? So the current index image, do it. It is 1. Zero 1. Okay, that it's okay. We touch and we enable this. Well, I guess that's the basic part, guys. So that it's the idea about how to make this kind of presentation stuff in Thunkable or appybuilder or App Inventor. So I guess that it's the idea. Okay, so current screen 3, current screen 1. We can just remove these things just to make sure everything is okay. And we start with that thing. Okay. So I guess that's the idea. And as I told you, well, it's important always to place these things so it will make it visible. We change it, and that's it. Okay, well, I guess I need to check more. Well, I guess that's the thing. Okay, just to fix the first part that it is not showing the image. Well, the thing is this. Okay, go to the slide sprite and set the default image for the slide sprite to 01. Okay, if not, you can do it in the blocks, or you can do it from the designer 01. And with that thing, you will fix. If you check, we can refresh the screen. And that's it. We refresh, we press welcome, thunkable, App Inventor, appybuilder, tutorial, don't stress, relax, enjoy. And also remember, you can modify the values, the rebound and the friction. 0.5, and you can experiment with these values. 0.6, you can make it like that. 0.2, and it will take ages to return. So don't use 0.2, so use something bigger than 0.2, 0.8. I like that one. And probably these two, 0.6. Anyway, well, I am using 0.8, 0.6, okay. Well, that is the idea, guys, okay, to make this kind of presentation stuff, okay, or slides for your thunkable or App Inventor project or appybuilder. Okay, so the idea is pretty simple. Okay, you can use as much images as you need in here. Okay, and then automatically it will just loop over them. If you are not you don't want to continue, well, you just kind to modify in this part. You can change here when you create an image. Okay, so you can set it to you know, if you go to this level, okay, so if you get to the limit of the list, okay, but probably you can start like loading the new screen or something. Okay, so basically that is the idea. So relax, enjoy, guys. Okay, my name is Eduardo. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you next time. Please don't forget to share this video and to like this video. Okay, that will help me a lot. My name is Eduardo. Until the next time, bye bye.